The fucking bullshit ass stuff a whole car.
I hope you guys are recording this.
And just in case like some shrapnel busts in my face, Mercedes-Benz won't even fucking give me $1 for the damn settlement.
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with Mayhem Miller.
What?
And Weendawg.
What's up, dude?
It's going to be a great show. We're going to go over some great things. We got the UFC last week. We're going to talk about that.
No.
Dos Santos losing to Curtis Blades.
No.
We have Bellator last week. That was an amazing event. I think that was it was entertaining as shit. As well as UFC 247, which is in 2 weeks. There's the Joe Rogan versus Stephen A. Smith feud.
Nah.
We're going to talk about Phoenix Jones getting arrested.
No.
All kinds of stuff. I want to thank Speedweed. Okay, for sponsoring this podcast. Thank you, Gino. Listen, marijuana is legal in California. Get it delivered right to your door. Go to speedweed.com. Follow them at Speedweed. Thank you, Betterbox. Thank you, Gage. Thank you, everybody. I got to head out a little early because I got a wrestling match today.
Awesome.
I'm excited about coaching. And I was actually thinking about, obviously I coach middle school wrestling. I've been doing it for 13 years. I started the program over at Paul Revere. And the kids are looking really good. It's almost like a blessing and a curse. We have a lot of really good 8th graders, which is I'm very happy about that. But then next year we're going to have not as good as a team because 9 of the kids are leaving unless we get a bunch of new kids. We have a bunch of new kids, but that's just always happens. I'm always worried about next year's team and then next year's team. Because what happens is my athletic director, he gives the kids the option, you can go to detention or wrestling. So I get a bunch of these badass kids.
Nice.
That I got what was that?
Story of my life.
The longest yard of middle school wrestling. But there was actually a funny story recently. So this kid that I coached, one of my favorite kids, this kid Justin, is a black kid, really, really funny kid. But he was the biggest wise ass I've ever coached. I used to have to come to his house because his dad wasn't around, and he'd be sleeping. And I would see him look out the window and go back to bed. And I'm like, no, we're going to. So one day I actually walked into his house. But I'm like, get out of bed. We're going to practice. He's like, you can't break into my house. I'm like, yes, I can. We're going to practice. He's like, this is illegal. I don't care. His mom called me and thanked me. His mom's like, but this kid would just insult me the entire time. Like, oh, you have a hoopty, or I went on your Facebook and you only date 7s. And then one time there was I think I told you this story, but there was a billboard of a woman who had leukemia, and it said Anna versus leukemia. And he goes, Coach, I got $10 on leukemia. I'm just like, that's not funny.
Brilliant.
This is kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
And he was get terrible grades. This is the kind of mind
You
he
were
had.
literally the dude from those trope of movies where
Mighty Ducks
the
and-
white guy comes in into the black neighborhood and helps out the kids by teaching them a sport that only white people play. Yeah.
So, but this kid would constantly drive me crazy because he was such a wise guy. He won
What
a
was
match.
that kid's name?
Justin.
All right.
The kid won a match, right? And then he holds up his record. It goes 4-2. And then the ref thought he was holding up gang signs. So he stopped the whole thing and gave us a speech about gang violence. We're
4-2 Mafia for life.
And then the other coach, the high school coach, was like, I wouldn't brag about being 4-2, by the way. That's not really that great of a record. But this is the kind of kid, I'd be like, so what kind of girls do you date? The white girls, the black girls? He goes, man, black girls are just too much drama. And I was like, dude, all girls are too much drama. But he beat me in a sprint. And then I'm like, all right, we're going to do 5 miles. Because he was taunting me. And I knew he couldn't do 5 miles because he's in the 8th grade.
Because he's black?
No, nothing to do with him being black.
Oh, my bad.
Although one time you told me chocolate melts. Didn't you tell me that?
Well, I
Chocolate
said
melts
that.
at the 3rd.
That's racist. I never said that.
So anyway, so we ran, and he quit after mile 1, right? But now I can't show him that quitting's okay, because so now I gotta finish the 5 miles.
Let me get this straight. You ran behind him on horseback and whipped him?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
I ran 5 miles, and then at the end, I'm like, I got my, wanted to be like, I did it and you didn't. He's laughing. And I'm like, why are you laughing? He's like, I made my dumbass coach run 5 miles.
Nice.
This is the kind of kid that I was. Anyway, so.
This kid is a future, man. He's a bright kid.
He calls me up last week. He's in college now.
Nice.
He's playing college football
Really?
for Oklahoma State, something OS, like a smaller division. And he's like, hey man, I just want to say thank you. I know I gave you the hardest time, but
Awesome.
he's like, I'm really sorry for giving you. He's like, I changed a lot, and I was a big knucklehead.
That's gotta feel
and
good.
like you helped change my life, and that was super sweet.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, do you follow some of the dudes that came up through your program? Because
Some of them do. Like it's funny because like a lot of these kids, they're in 8th grade, and like they just like this kid Cole. I'm like, hey, this blonde hair kid was like a Ford model surfer kid, and I'm like, Cole, how was your summer? He's like, great, I got laid. I'm like, all right, no more questions. Like this, but now
He's in 8th grade.
8th grade.
Oh,
man,
boy.
slanging dick in 8th grade, man, that's the next level.
When was the first time you got laid?
I don't know, like 4th grade.
Come on, you got laid in the 4th grade?
Yeah, I got a beach. I mean,
In 4th grade?
yeah, it was casual. You know, black girls get wild.
This is back in Atlanta or North Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah.
North Carolina, really?
Yeah, I know.
This is in Fayetteville?
Hey, does it count as being molested if she's the same age as you?
No, it doesn't count.
All right.
So
well,
in Fayetteville, you got a blowjob.
Yeah.
And Joe, his first time he got laid,
I was 18.
18. He gets into a car accident. The girl's
well, that's how all the best lays get started.
the girl's like 60 years old,
Yeah.
and then
60?
and then he bangs her after
That's
the
not
accident.
a girl. That's a grown woman.
Then he
That's a
bangs her
woman.
after the accident and walks into the Ha Ha Comedy Club and like ghosted her that night or something. What happened?
I like you just telling the story because you
No,
add
I
like a
know.
new element to it every single
Yeah.
time.
All right, tell me what
So
happened.
I've told the story many times on the podcast, but long story short, I lost my virginity to like a 55-year-old woman in the Bank of America parking lot across the street from the Ha Ha Cafe. It was a terrible event. She crashed her car like on the way to the parking lot, and she like. Listen,
You were just like a couple of
Listen.
months not getting molested. Like
Yeah.
that was, you know what I mean?
It's like a porno.
yeah, it is.
It's like a really bad
it
porno.
was a disaster.
She just grabbed it and fucking jumped on. That was the way it
Sounds like a car wreck.
Yeah, we got caught in the middle of me eating her ass
Oh,
by the
interesting.
person whose car she hit because she like fled the scene. And so like, listen, it's a long story. Go back to episode
sure.
304.
No, tell the story. No one's gonna go back to
Bro,
episode
no one's
3 or
going
4.
back.
Go, what happened?
Like, you can't go back from this.
So she hits this car, right? It was a parked car. She hit it, and then she just drove to the parking lot space next to my car in the back of Bank of America, where we banged in my car, right? No big deal.
So a drunk driving senior citizen fucked you and you ate her ass in the back of a car.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle.
Damn,
This is
why
like
is this show even about MMA? I mean, what's the point of having MMA? I was thinking, you just need to take a left turn. And just,
Wrong turn.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
what?
Did she have insurance?
I don't
No.
know. I didn't really ask. But this is
Probably
like at
next
10
year.
o'clock at night. So it's dark. We're in the back corner of the parking lot. I'm eating her ass in the backseat of my dad's car. No big deal. And then I hear a big knock on the back window, like, and I look back. I'm like, uh-oh. And it's like this Mexican dude, like, just staring at me through the window while I'm eating her ass. You know? She's
Why would you eat a girl's ass you didn't know who's 55 years old?
18, bro.
Dude,
After-
18.
Like, when you're that age, you watch so much porn. And then, like, the first time you have intercourse, you want to, like, mimic the stuff you see in porn because you think that's,
So do you like choke her to death with your dick? And
yeah, but aren't you
slap
still
her?
into transgender porn?
I mean, I don't watch it for pleasure. I watch it out of
Whoa.
curiosity, like transgender porn, you know.
It's for science.
Yeah, for
Like
science
I
research.
understand.
Like family viewing? This is like your.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Mayhem, how are you doing, man?
Man, I'm fucking awesome now. I mean,
Compared
now
to
that
me.
I got my ass eating quotient of the day, I need a story about ass eating.
Now,
to
I
start
gotta
the
say
podcast.
that you hadn't got laid in like, what, 17 months?
A million years, I think.
So your first time out of jail getting laid, you must have been quick, huh?
Oh, man. I know. He barely got started. Yeah.
Right? Was that like crazy? Was it embarrassing, or did you tell, hey, listen, it's been a
What
while?
do you mean? It's like, come on. Any chick that's gonna, bang me is gonna. She's gonna have to understand, especially in that situation that I came out of, that I
Right.
probably just like before I get the panties off.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
It happens. It
Yeah,
happens.
I mean, to the best of us, done it.
Now, how was your snowboarding trip? You went snowboarding?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I like didn't really fucking eat any ass. I it was one of those trips where everything was good. I just slid down on my face one time. I mean, that was the worst thing to happen. But overall, you know what I mean? It was nice to get back out into like the great blue yonder. But bro, you know what? Like, fucking skiing is for fucking rich people, man. A fucking hamburger costs like $50. I'm like, what the fuck? A $50 hamburger?
Dude, it's crazy you're talking about. I just went skiing over the weekend with my girlfriend's family at
Yeah.
Mammoth. It's expensive, dude.
Bro, everything. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just shocked. Like, the class divide is so You know
Are you
what I
noticing
mean?
this now that you're not rich anymore?
Yeah. Well, you know, like I like to think of myself as rich, but like there's like this white trash ghetto dude inside me that's like everything that's like not reasonably priced makes me like.
But you
angry.
came from nothing. You came from absolutely nothing, and then you got wealthy. You were in like the top,
ridiculously rich.
right?
Unbelievably rich.
So now, when you were really rich, would you be like, "Oh, whatever"?
No, I still had a little bit of that in me, but yeah, I was flippant with my money for sure. If there's any advice I could give to like dudes who get rich quick, like, nah, try to keep as ghetto as you can, because I would just spend shit on, you know what I mean, bullshit,
Vacations
all the time.
and hotels,
everything. Just like get a hotel for like 3 hours. Like a $400 hotel for 3 hours and then let's leave. Like what are you thinking?
hedonism.
You know? Oh yeah, yes, all kinds of.
No, I remember when Dana White bought you that car,
Yeah.
and you were mad about the taxes.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like,
taxes on
but
this shit?
you still got a free car though. That was like a
Yeah, but then it's like I wanted a gift, not a employment. You know what I mean? Like I gotta go fucking fill out paperwork. Like what the fuck? Like
But that car was sick. It had like a TV in it, and
yeah.
we watched a movie in it.
I would rather have money.
Right, I hear you. I hear you. But I went skiing one time in my life.
Yeah.
My friends were like, I was in 8th grade. My buddy's like, go down Double Black Diamond, and I listened.
Nice.
So I went up there, and I had no idea how to ski. So I thought it was like the Olympics, you just tuck and go.
Oh, no.
You know. So I just tucked, and people were diving out of the way, and then the ski patrol came and cut my ticket, and then that was it.
They banned you.
Yeah, banned me from the mountain.
Why? Because you were.
I didn't know how to ski. I was knocking everyone over and like almost killed myself. I didn't know what double black died. I'm like, oh, I'll just go down. My friend told me to go.
Straight Sonny Bono.
Yeah, I could have died. That was crazy.
I'm glad you're here.
So Mayhem might be moving in.
Yeah.
Are we talking? Could we talk about that?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
All right.
I'm like, I don't know. Am I your new babysitter?
So you might be moving into my backyard. My backyard has like a little studio.
It's like a pool house.
It's like a pool house. But my wife wants to give you a contract to sign
Yeah.
saying that you won't have parties, no drugs,
Oh well, I'm sorry, man.
and that you could bring girls over, but they have to be like
I'm gonna have to renegotiate this contract
At least 18.
At some point. Yeah.
they have to be like respectful women.
Oh really?
Yeah, like
Oh, what kind of respectable woman will come hang out at your pool house? You know what I mean? With a dude named Mayhem. Are you fucking crazy? Like maybe she hasn't really thought this one through. You know what I mean?
well,
Fucking bug infested pool house. With goddamn no air conditioning and a motherfucking angry Jew in the front.
so
And a fucking butt naked kid across the street sprinting around with his dick flapping in the wind. Bro, what type of... I'm rethinking this whole thing, man. I don't even know.
that's what I'm saying. So we have to.
Oh, yeah. Let me sign this contract real quick.
A sitcom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write this show.
Yeah. Oh my God, bro. It's fucking ridiculous. Great. Man, your wife's a bright lady, but I don't think she thought this one through.
All right, so let's talk about my thoughts on, by the way, the whole Ari Shaffir thing. You hear about Ari Shaffir?
Yeah, of course.
So obviously Kobe Bryant died over the weekend. Rest in peace, Kobe. A very, very sad day for people all around the world. Kobe inspired, millions and millions of people. So people thought, what do I think about Ari's joke?
Wait, tell the joke first.
Well, it wasn't really a joke.
Yeah, I know. That was the funny part. It wasn't even a joke. It was just like a rant.
It was a rant of like, a rapist is gone. The world's a better place. Should have happened 23 years later.
That's when that happened? 23 years ago?
It was on and on and on, right? It was 23 years too late. F Kobe, F the Lakers, right? Okay, here are my thoughts. Number one, okay, just as comics, we have freedom of speech to write jokes. Everyone has the speech to comment on your jokes.
You don't have the freedom of speech to not get the blowback.
Yeah, of course.
If you make not a joke, even not even a joke.
The problem
listen, but Ari is like the same guy he's always been trolling, always fucking with everybody. Like he loves the attention from it. He doesn't care how he gets it, and I get it. I get where he's coming from.
My thoughts are this: is that number one, if you tell a joke like that soon about someone who died, you have to like.
What joke? There was no joke.
Number one, there was no joke. Tony Hinchcliffe made a joke of like Kobe passed.
That was the same joke I came up with immediately.
Kobe passed, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people had that joke.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like, look, Twitter and Instagram are not a comedy club.
Yeah.
If you're gonna tell that joke in a comedy club, you're gonna then okay, cool. But when you put things out on the internet, it's not just people buying 2 drinks expecting to laugh. People are going, "What the fuck is this?"
Well, what about a podcast?
And
could he have made a joke on a podcast like
if it was a comedy, well, Ari's wasn't a joke. That's number one. There was no punchline there.
You're right.
Like the joke is to get people to troll, to get people angry,
riled up.
Yeah, and then he's laughing at the people getting riled up.
Success.
It's sort of a joke among a joke. It's sort of like I guess maybe an Andy Kaufman thing, but it just wasn't not the time. There were kids dying and the thing. Look, I'm all for jokes. But they're jokes, and I've learned that there are certain jokes that I make in comedy clubs, but where people pay two drinks to $2 2 drinks, they come and they laugh, and if a joke doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it's at a comedy club.
But don't you, like we've done this, we do this over and over again with everything. Anything that like gets our fucking panties in a wad, we talk about for fucking 10 minutes on this show, and the billions of people that are watching.
We're getting good numbers now.
Yeah, I know. So what I mean is like. That's what he wanted, so we gave it to him.
Yeah, but I don't think he wanted. But I don't think he wanted
it.
this. Because if he put on Instagram, listen, I didn't mean to hurt anyone's feelings. This is what I do. I freaking.
But it's the Donald Trump method, bro. We're gonna forget about this shit in 6 months.
I don't know. Look, first of all,
we're gonna fuck. What is Kobe gonna fucking zombie Kobe?
No, but a lot of people are like he's getting a lot of death threats. He's getting a lot of people saying they're gonna fight him on site.
Nice.
And I would not be surprised if people attack him.
No way.
Yeah.
About Kobe.
Yeah.
Man, people really love some Kobe.
They love him. And that's the thing.
But I think that he kind of did something, kind of like, he did it smart.
He canceled the shows.
Think he did.
The shows got canceled.
Oh, my God.
He has an hour coming out. Good luck trying to tell that hour right now.
Oh, really?
I mean, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of people are looking to not reasons to not give you money.
Yeah, I know,
and you're just giving him another one. You give him a reason.
It was weird that he didn't do it as a joke, though. Like, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, some other comic wrote like, "Oh, thank God I don't have helicopter parents" or something. And you could be like, oh, "That's a joke. It's a joke." Look, the point is also you have to when I make a joke, I go, okay, let's say there's 100 people in a room. Mm-hmm. And 99 people laugh and 1 people get upset. I did my job as a comic. Yeah. Even if 90 people, even if like half laugh, But if 1 person laughs and 99 people walk out of the room, you didn't do your job as a comic. And the people that were going to laugh at that joke versus the people that are going to get pissed off, you kind of have to go, is this joke really worth the blowback I'm going to get? Is it that funny?
But this is his style. Like this is his oldest time. He's what you call a provocateur. He enjoys this type of fucking, you know what I mean, hubbub that surrounds it. And I hate to say it, motherfucker had a point. There was like a crazy if he was just some normal black guy who wasn't good at putting a ball in a hoop, he would have went to prison for the rest of his life.
But for the rape?
I mean, look, granted the facts in the case were all shaky and whatnot, and it's like, look, I'm number one where if a woman gets angry and fucking pops off, then your whole life is fucking destroyed. And, and I've seen it, and I've seen it personally. So it's like, this small lie turned into a big thing. But, he, because of his status and how good he was at slam dunking, you know what I mean? It was like, it changed the whole thing. And so Ari kind of brought that conversation back, in a fucked up way for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're talking about it. That's what he wanted.
I mean, look, I get it. Look, I'm all for jokes and like Patrice O'Neal said, bad jokes and good jokes stem from the same birth. They're born the same way. Yeah. And some hit, some don't. It wasn't a joke. That was number one. Yeah. Number one problem, not a joke.
It was provocative.
Number one problem. I've seen 8,000 passing jokes. Those are jokes. This wasn't a joke. Yeah. This was just you being a dick. And honestly, and people that know Ari know that he's a dick. I mean, is he funny? Is he likable? Is he talented? Yeah. He's all those things, but he's also like not the nicest person. And people have to know that when it comes to comedians and podcasting, are not the nicest people. Yeah. I know them personally, okay? Yeah. I know some really nice comics, and I know some dicks, and a lot of them are dicks. And a lot of the people that are dicks that you think would be your friend in real life wouldn't. And I hate to be the guy to tell you this, but that's the way it is. Same with fighters. I would say, on the most part, fighters are nicer than comics.
Yeah.
At least in my experience.
Well, because fighters have this realistic thing where they have to fucking go in and get humbled all the time. And comics get to sit upon their throne and they're like a lot of them are deeply insecure.
Yeah.
And so they're just
Most of them.
constantly fucking.
Most of them are deeply insecure, and also knowing look. The bottom line is I've helped out a lot of comics. I've run shows for 20 years, and I've given out thousands and thousands and thousands of spots. And recently, I hit up 2 comics that I've helped out when they were at year 1 and year 2, who are now big stars. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get this project off the thing. Sorry, man, I'm too busy. And I'm like, I was pissed. I was pissed last week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this fucking guy, I was putting him on.
Name names, bro.
I was putting him on with no one.
Name names, bro. We need beef.
Thanks, Kevin Hart.
We need beefs. Come on, bro. There's no way to get the show off the ground if we're not beefing with people. Who was it? Joe Rogan?
No, it wasn't Joe, but it was one of Joe's close friends, and he's like, "Hey, man, sorry, I'm just really busy right now." And I'm like,
Brendan Schaub?
No, he was never a good friend of mine, Brendan
Oh.
Schaub. So anyway, I don't.
Come on, man. Tell me. We need to start some beefs.
Anyway. So fucking
MMA roasted.
The point is, I don't know. Yeah. All right.
quickly move on.
Oh,
to the
what?
next
We're moving
subject.
on now?
Moving on.
Come on, bro. Start the beef.
Fucking Theo Von. Fucking Theo
Nice.
Von was a guy that
Oh, this
I used to give so many fucking spots
Goddamn.
to.
Beef is on,
I'm
Theo.
friends with Theo. I like Theo.
Yeah.
He's a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
I put him in Kamikaze Comedy when
Yeah,
I was trying to sell it.
I
put him
remember.
in the original one when no one was putting him in shit. I put him in shit.
And
right?
what? Now
and
you
then
got time for it.
I sold the show to Fuel TV. Then I got the rights back, and then Fuel went under. Then I sold it to Esquire, a different version of it. Yada yada. I changed it around. Esquire went under.
Yeah.
Now I have the rights back. This company says.
Bro, you keep tanking
This
the
company
fucking
says
network.
this company says this network likes it, but they want Theo Von attached to it. I go, hey Theo, man, can you do this a big favor? And the text, thank you for thinking of me, man. I'm just really busy right now. And I get
I
it.
mean, but maybe he is really busy
He
right
probably
now.
is really busy. That's why I didn't want to name his name.
Nah, fuck
I
that.
like Theo. I'm
I
just
think
like,
y'all should fight.
No,
To the death.
I'm not fighting
With
Theo.
a trash can lid and a crowbar.
I like Theo. I took this fucking guy on tour. Well, we took each other on tour back in the day. We went to sorority houses together to
Nice.
fucking get people to go to the Westwood Brewing Company.
Was this when you were stripping?
No.
Oh.
I stripped once. Anyways, fucking a couple times. All right. So this is,
Hey, I'm sorry to get you all fired up
Nah,
like
man,
that, but I really feel like we need some beef, man.
no, I like.
The beef is
no,
on.
bottom line is I like Theo Von.
Me too,
A
but
lot. He's a
you know
friend
what?
of mine.
He's a fucking dick, though.
He's not a dick. He's not a dick. He just could help me out with this thing because this company wanted him specifically.
Oh,
and they
what?
said, hey, can you get Theo attached to it? They said,
Well,
they said
maybe he'll
Theo.
change
They
his
said
mind
Theo
after
and Bert.
hearing
They said Theo and Bert. Bert Kreischer is another guy. I put in the original
I love Bert.
Kamikaze.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, Bert, can you just, he took the call. He said he's in Europe. He can't, he's on a tour. He can't do it. And I don't know Bert like that. Theo, like.
I know Bert like
I mean,
that. I know.
Yeah, whatever. It's a good show. Anyway, it's a fucking great show. And I was like,
yeah,
he
it's a
could have
great
just
show.
he could just say, yeah, you know, like. But look, I'll read.
What, you want to do? You'd rather him do the Hollywood yeah and then fucking ghost you later?
No,
Or,
he goes,
mean,
I
he
wish
was-
I could, but I can't be a part of it. I got other projects going on. Thank you for checking in and asking. I mean, that was nice.
That is
nice,
nice, exactly.
All right, so I
you
take it
just-
back.
Fuck that. No, the beef is still on, bro.
The beef isn't
Fuck
on.
that.
I mean, that
keeping
was
the
ni-
beef going.
It was nice. It was just a little bit like.
What's his podcast name? No, we don't even name it. That's how fucking
No,
the
he's
beef,
a
that's how
talent.
deep the beef
anyway,
goes.
It's not that big.
Hey, you see the MSNBC reporter call Kobe the N-bomb?
That's not what she said. She said the Knicks and the Lakers and got it confused.
Wait. So combine
She said the
those two,
Los
Knicks
Angeles Knicks and then
The what?
she said- no, you're trying to get me,
No.
but no. She said the Los Angeles Knicks. I mean Lakers. She said
No.
She did. She-
No.
Yeah.
Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, yo, let's so how do you say the Knicks and the Lakers?
Yeah, I honestly believe her. She said the Los Angeles.
I know, me too.
Knicks.
But if I was black, I would be like, fuck that. Let's cut this white lady's head
No,
off.
I've seen black people that they were like, she obviously didn't. They know that she didn't.
If she was on Fox News, though, that would have been a totally different conversation.
Yeah, if it was
they're
Sean-
giving
if it
her
was-
the benefit of
if
the
it was,
doubt.
if it was Sean Hannity that said it, people would be like, wait a minute. You know? All right.
I bet he throws that casually at the house. There's no way Sean Hannity ain't dropping M-bombs to his wife.
All right.
Who is it?
All right, let's talk
man.
about. I'm trying to get Austin Vanderford right now. He's the guy married
All
to
right.
Paige VanZant. Big fan of yours.
Mr. Van Zandt.
He's 10-0. He's
Nice.
a monster. But first, let's talk
Wait,
about some of the
who's he fighting for?
Bellator.
Oh, really?
UFC didn't sign him. He like did the Contender Series. He won in spectacular fashion. He was losing and came back and won, and they didn't sign him.
What?
Yeah, which
That's
is crazy.
weird.
I mean,
good, too.
He's really good. He was like I think junior college like Division II national champion, like great wrestler, nice guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about some of the before he comes on. Did you watch the UFC?
Yeah.
Junior Dos Santos,
Ooh.
Curtis Blades.
Hey, look, he put up a goddamn great performance, didn't he? I mean,
Blades or Santos?
yes. So,
Which
Blades.
one?
yes. Well, Blades, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
damn, he like splatter blasted his head. But at the same time, you know what I mean? That was a good showing. It wasn't like the worst, but it was the same thing that we always say, and we just take the wind out of everyone's sail every time we're on this show, where I come in and go, well, you know, Cerrone's head is pretty soft, so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I kind of like tell everybody kind of what's going to happen, you know, and then it happens, and then we're like,
Yeah, we come-
okay,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
we
we have to
definitely-
come back here and go, well,
I told
yeah,
you so.
Told you so.
Well, we were wrong about Nate Diaz against
What?
we were wrong
Masvidal?
about Masvidal.
Oh, yeah, I think I had a big Nate Diaz chubby, that's why. Yeah, you're right.
Now, what did you think about him throwing the lead uppercut? And then, what's his name? Cormier saying, I hate when he throws that. It leaves him wide open. Does it leave you wide open?
Yeah, well, because you to do a good lead uppercut, especially against a guy long like Blades, like, you know, who has a nice jab, straight right hand, somebody who can hit you from far away, to do this like lead uppercut and drop your hand, you're like totally exposing your face. You got to kind of lead with your head to do a lead uppercut, you know? You got to lead with your face.
But he
So-
kept going for it.
I know, yeah. Well, because I think earlier in the fight, he landed it. So sometimes you can get tunnel vision in a fight where if I've done it before where I hit a guy with a good one and I kept looking for that.
What fight
one
was that?
Over Mura. And I hit him with a good like left hand and I was like, I kept looking for that despite it like not landing again. And then I just kept going for it over and over again. And then I got taken down and then I got back up and then I was looking for that again because when you land a good one, it rings a bell in your head. You know, it goes, oh man, that one worked. And then you'll go back to it, even if it's not working. So, you know, it takes some like maybe your corner or some self-control and readjustment to just let it come. Like the best fights are when you can just let your punches and kicks, let your technique flow without really putting too much, you know, on which one worked. Because that one that worked, yeah, sure, it worked that time, but now he's looking out for it. too.
Right.
So Blades made an adjustment, realized, oh, okay, well, that uppercut hit me. And then, you know, he readjusted his game plan. It was
Crazy that Blades
it was
won
kind of
stand-up
like a
because
street fight.
Dos Santos was like known for his boxing.
Yeah, but I mean, it comes into that thing when you're an older fighter, you got so much tape out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you have 3 fights to watch on a guy, 3 fights, okay? You watch those fights like a motherfucker. Like you're going to watch every fight. Okay, what does he do? Oh, this is jab. But if I got 12 fights to watch, now I really can get used to how this guy jabs, where he puts his feet after he throws his right hand. What's the strategy? You know, you can break that down. If I sit with the fighter, watch their opponent, okay, we can start taking notes and go, all right, this guy does this, then you do this good, so we're going to find the way to do it. And the more tape you have on a guy, the better off you can establish a game plan. And that's what it looked like. I mean, Blade's got a way to go to be a really, really developed fighter. But I mean, that
But he's number
performance-
3. I mean, it's like he's right there.
I know. But we always see this. This happens all the time where a guy gets bumped up. He's like, you know what I mean? Like one of the top contenders super quick based on these few past performances. And then, you know, he might falter when he gets up to the highest levels. But then, you know, it looks like a meteoric rise for this guy, for sure.
Well, Ngannou knocked him out twice.
Yeah, oh yeah. I forgot about
That was,
one, yeah.
but it's not the only
That's
losses
his
he has.
kryptonite, yeah.
Yeah, it was this. That guy.
How do you feel about fighters commentating fights like while they're still like fighting? Like DC was commentating that fight, and then he had to go interview Curtis Blades.
And Blades didn't call him out, which is crazy.
Do you think fighters should be able to do that, or
I think if they're good at it, you know, I have no problem with it. As long as
I think DC is like pretty solid broadcaster.
and I like
Yeah.
and I like DC and Bisbing giving each other a hard time. I think they're kind of fun in the on the mic together.
But would you agree that it kind of creates like an awkward scenario? Like Curtis, he's a contender for sure for the title shot. I mean, there is that.
Sometimes it's
problem.
hard when you see guys that train with other guys and they have to comment on the fights.
Yeah.
And DC is in this weird, like, nice guy spot where he's like the all-American family guy. Like, everyone loves him.
So he says he's trying, but it's not working. Austin.
Oh, here we go again.
All right, so let's
Sorry, bro.
Let's talk about
buck up, little
all right,
bear.
let's talk about-
Everything's gonna be okay. Theo Von's gonna come on the show. And
there
clear
he
this
is,
all up.
Austin Vanderford.
Yeah.
Here he is, the undefeated fighter from Oregon. Sorry to I thought I told you it was video. Sorry that like
what the hell, man?
Sorry, man. By the way, so Austin came to my show in Portland.
Yeah.
And I said he does not, and him and his wife, Paige VanZant, who I said does not have one ugly bone in her body except for Austin Vanderford.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a good sport. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah, just I'm at the grocery store. Well, I'm in the truck now, but I was at the grocery store.
So I was watching all your fights last night. Look, you're 10-0. You 6 or 7 submissions, or 7 wins by stoppage. But I got to know, how do you last with Paige VanZant? Because she is so pretty. Is it hard?
Yeah, it's usually not super long, so it's
First round.
It's a lot like a lot of my fights. They don't last the whole time. So.
Good. There you go. Well, at least you're honest. That's good. That's good because dude, she's so pretty that like I have to like avoid eye contact with her because then I feel like I'm looking at her too long.
You'll be turned to stone in your pants.
Yeah, one of those things where I'm like, damn, this girl. Exactly. But so do you have a fight lined up?
I don't. I actually, though, I just signed a contract extension with Bellator, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully here soon in the next few days or something, I should be getting something worked out. So.
Three more fights for him, or what? Or you got a farther?
4 more fights.
Nice.
Yep, 4 more fights. Yep.
Awesome.
Now I think Bellator is dropping the ball with you because you're a trained killer. They put you against a really tough guy last fight in Israel. This guy from like Dagestan, one of those guys that like has a good record but not great record, but it's hard to look good against. Just a solid dude. The first round was a little shaky, but then you got him in the second and third. What happened in that first round?
Yeah, I kind of I started off a little slow. I was feeling him out a little bit, but once I felt his power and felt what he had, I felt confident. And then especially once we got to the ground, I felt good control, and it was a feeling out process the first round, and but I'm trying to work on pushing the pace more in the first, and then going into the second and third as well, because I got the cardio and whatnot, so I just got to go out and do it.
Would you say you're kind of a slow starter in most of your fights, or is it like? You know what I mean? Like you say, I know you got some quick victories, but at the same time, like, that feeling out process, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think every fight's a little different. You go in there and it would be nice if we felt the same for everyone, but sometimes, for whatever reason, it's a little different, and this was just one of those cases. I had a few times in college where my coach was like, hey, we got to figure out how to get you started a little faster and whatnot. So, it probably goes back to that a little bit as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm fairly young in my fight career still. And, I'm still learning. You learn every fight. And, yeah, just
talk about that. Like, what specific skills are you working on, like, to improve? Because, yeah, you are young in the game and you got a great wrestling pedigree. But what specific skills are you working on at this stage in your career?
Man, I'm doing everything. I love grappling. I got a jiu-jitsu competition coming up here in a month. I really want to stick with trying to hone my skills in grappling. I wrestled through college, but I believe I can still be a better wrestler and all that. So I'm not really, I'm not trying to just focus on my striking or being a wrestler. I'm trying to just get better at everything still, and so I couldn't really like pinpoint one thing. But of course, I want to get my hands and my kicks better and whatnot. But at the same time, I don't want to forget all the things that got me here as well.
Now, were you a D2 national champion or D3 or?
I was the NAI national champ. Yeah.
What is that? People who like don't know.
Yeah, so as far as everything goes, it goes like junior college, NAIA, Division III, Division II, Division I. Kind of the difference with NAIA is they don't have the Division I or whatever rule set, or not rule set, but it's easier to get into an NAIA school. So it's kind of for like the guys who
flunked out of high school. Yeah, we hear you.
Couldn't get the grades in Division I or stuff like that. So, I had a full ride scholarship to a D2 school, and I decided I wanted to go to this school in Oregon like last second, and actually just walked on to the team and then earned a scholarship.
Now, Colby Covington said he beat you in college. Is this true?
Yes, Colby and I wrestled in college. I think I was a freshman. He was a senior.
Now, what was the score? Who won that match?
I think he won on a major decision.
Now, was he the same as he was now?
I didn't have much of many interactions with him. He actually, the weekend before that, he went into overtime with the guy behind me in the lineup. So going into the match, I was like, man, I think I can beat this guy. I had beaten the guy behind me in the lineup in actual like tournaments and whatever, and so I was like, man, I'm gonna go in there in his hometown or at OSU, and I'm gonna beat him in front of his home fans. And he was tough, man. He's a stud for sure.
Now obviously, you're married to one of the hottest girls, and. You're an average-looking guy, so there are.
Wow! Come on, thank you.
You're a good-looking guy, but there are a lot of guys who look like you who would love to be married to Paige VanZant. What's your do you have like a top 5 ways to get a girl like Paige VanZant? Because you could write a book. Forget fighting. You could write a book, How to Bang Paige VanZant. And I'm telling you, people would buy that. Yeah. People would buy that book.
You know what book I actually want? I want to write a book on, and I don't want to put anyone on blast, but I want to write a book on the guys who were trying with her that I beat out. Because if I told you guys some of them, you guys would absolutely crack up.
Bro, name names, bro.
I'm
just
not
name
names, drop, but
bro.
I tell her every day, I'm like, man, you fucked up. Like,
bro,
really
MMA roasted. We named
all right,
names,
was it All-Star
bro.
Overeem?
We're trying to keep the beats alive.
Was it Rashad Evans?
No, I'll tell you this. It wasn't like MMA guys. It was some singers.
Jeremy Piven.
But
Ari Shaffir.
Fuck, man.
Right. So it was all these actors trying to get into Paige VanZant. Now you have to play it cool though, because she's a hot chick and she's a lot of guys trying. Now, do you not make a move? Is the move to not try to hook up with her for the first 4 dates and get her kind of like?
I mean, were you immediately trying to get into her Zage Van pants?
Yeah. Man, that was a good one. You guys aren't gonna believe it, but I will tell you this: she was a little more aggressive towards me to get it going, because, like you guys were saying, I was trying to yeah, man, I can't fuck this up. I gotta be on the absolute best game I got, and so she was a little more aggressive than I was.
Wow. So you didn't. So she was like third, fourth date. She's like, take off your pants. Let's do this.
No. First
Basically.
date, she snapped him into a front headlock. and was like, eat it.
Really?
No, I don't know. That's what I heard.
He's saying yes. That's
exactly. Threw up a triangle and
exactly.
Now I heard that team. I heard
triangle.
I heard Team Alpha Male came to your door. It was like the Smurfs surrounded you.
Oh fuck! It was crazy. Yeah.
Nice.
Now, by the way, so you left Team Alpha Male and you took one of their coaches with you, Owen Carr.
I did not leave. Paige left Team Alpha Male.
Oh, Paige left.
Yeah.
So you're stealing. So are you setting up your own
associated.
Team Alpha Male in Oregon? Are you taking the coaches with you?
We got the opposite. Probably we got all big guys and stuff.
Got it.
But no. Owen was a good coach for Paige, and his role with Team Alpha Male kind of fizzled out, and so he wanted to come and do some help and whatnot.
Now I was looking at your Instagram last night, and I'm like, okay, how does this guy train? You had the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. You go on the bench press and then go under it. Like what the fuck? What is that? You know what I'm talking about? He does this thing where he's on the bench press and then crawls under the bench press.
Listen, this guy doesn't understand.
Wait, that's a real thing?
True grappling.
He doesn't get it.
He doesn't
Wait, what
get
is
it.
that? What was that?
I know you went and tried it after you saw me.
Of course,
it, so
I failed miserably. It was horrible. I almost broke my back.
Bro, he was doing it on his couch.
I don't know how to bench press. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
It was some like it started off. Paige did it first, and it started off as like a fundraiser or whatever for the fires in Australia.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Yeah, it's well. I mean, I didn't go. I didn't follow the guidelines, and I didn't tag the people. I didn't do all this shit. But I thought, man, I want to try that. I'm gonna see, and in doing it, I was like, hey, this is a good workout for jiu-jitsu or for grappling. Like trying to hang on to somebody and move
this
around.
This guy's his Instagram is so funny because then he has a boxer shorts that he's selling called Chubbies.
Nice.
And he's got a chubby, and he's pointing to his wife. His wife's pointing at his dick and going, Chubbies. Like, I'm like, what?
Brilliant marketing, bro.
I'm like, what is?
Brilliant marketing.
I'm like,
Get me a pair.
This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So you got a fight coming. All right, so you just signed a contract. Now, do you have any kind of, because I feel like they're not marketing you, because you're like, I think you get lumped a little bit as being like Mr. VanZant, but you're a monster of a fighter. I mean, you're a great fighter. You got all the tools. I mean, the one fight in the Contender, I think they dropped the ball. He's fighting a Team Alpha Male guy. Paige left Team Alpha Male. She's now in his corner. Yeah. There's all that backstory. He's fighting a monster. He drops him in the first. He's almost out. He comes back and fucks the guy up in the second and doesn't get a contract.
Talk about that. Like, I want to ask you, well, why didn't they give you a contract? Like, was there any? I mean, who the hell is managing you and what? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure you're happy now, but at the same time, kind of feels like a snub, does it not?
Yeah. But like you said, I'm super happy right now. I'm pumped where I'm at and the way my career is progressing. But anytime you get snubbed or denied on something, it kind of lights a little fire behind you. And no ill will, but I guess I just wasn't what they were looking for that. It
was just a money thing. They were like they trying to lowball you. Is that what happened?
Man, I have no idea.
All right, play the fighter card. All right, I'll call your manager.
Yeah, I talked to Bisping was calling the fight. I talked to him after. He had some cool words and whatnot. And I thought I was probably gonna get a contract, but I didn't. And
it was so dumb because he's such a nice guy. He's from Alaska. It's a problem. He's from Alaska. Oh, yeah. So he's got this happy-go-lucky thing going. Like,
salmon.
And his nickname is the Gentleman. I'm like, you got to think of a better nickname than that, right?
No, that's a tight nickname, bro.
Really? The Gentleman?
Man,
if you're fucking dudes up, yeah, for sure.
Fucking gentleman.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
He's pretty gentle.
You're Mayhem.
Yeah, well, I'm me.
By the way, he was so excited to have you on the podcast.
I could see that smile busting out his face.
Hey, I truly was, man. I'm pumped to talk to you and meet you, man.
Bro, likewise, bro. I'm a big fan, bro. I'm stoked that you're here, man.
He's a awesome. Did you watch the Bellator fights last week?
I did. Yeah.
What did you think? The Cyborg fight or?
What was the undercard?
I watched all the prelims. I watched the main. Paige and I usually watch the fights every weekend, or whatever, we're going to watch some teammates over in Lincoln City on the coast this coming weekend, and so we watched a lot of fights. I thought the card was stacked. Aaron Pico, he's good, man. He got off to a rough start. He had some tough competition, but he's a real deal, I think.
Now you called out Dylan Dennis, right?
I called out Dylan Dennis.
Did you? Or do you want to fight Dylan?
I don't believe so.
Do you want to fight
do it now?
Do you want to fight Dylan Dennis? He said he wants to fight you.
If Dylan Dennis wants to fight me,
no, I'm just making this up. But I think it'd be a great. I think it'd be a great fight because he's got a hot girlfriend.
I don't know why.
He's got a hot girlfriend. You've got a hot wife. You got like the winner take all. Now is Paige with you in the car right now?
No, her dog is. Well, our dog.
That's even better, bro.
She's doing the grocery shopping. I said I gotta go out and take this call.
Gotcha. Now, before you started dating Paige, you had like one tattoo. Now you have an eye here. You're all tatted up everywhere. You have like I mean, is this her doing or is this your doing?
So, you know what? I got my first tattoo when I was 14. My dad signed off. I'll tell you a quick little funny story. My mom got a boob job. My parents are split up, right? My mom went and got a boob job. I had wanted to get a tattoo. I said, hey, Dad, this is the perfect time. If Mom gives me shit about it, I'm going to say this, you know. I'm a 14-year-old kid. I was a little out of line, you know, but I thought, hey, it's the fact that all this, it didn't work out. I got in trouble, but yeah, I mean, I got my first tattoo when I was 14. I just didn't really have the money to do it, you know, before I started.
That's so funny. So it was funny because during his fights, I said Paige promised him anal if he wins. Last time he couldn't sit for 2 weeks, right? And then Paige writes under it, I couldn't sit for 2 weeks. And I was like, that's...
Man, y'all some freaks. I love it.
That's a cool wife right there.
Yeah.
But you know what she was doing for a while, Mayhem? She was taking his Twitter page and being like, hey, UFC, sign Paige VanZant's man. And it was like, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, well, who the fuck calls themselves Paige VanZant's man? And it turned out she was taking his phone and doing all that, yeah.
Can you believe that there's actually people out there, too, that thought I was writing all that shit and giving me shit about it? I'm like, what are you guys...
The old Ari Shaffir method. I was hacked.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, fuck.
I'm so happy because you guys are a really cute couple, and you guys seem very happy. Like I've hung out with you a little bit, and you guys seem genuinely happy for each other, which is nice.
Sure. Yep.
Are you still training with Chael?
You know, I want Chael to get in, but he hasn't. He's been on the road and traveling so much. So I just was talking to him yesterday. So hopefully he wants to get in and roll around and stuff.
Now, what happened? You guys had what was that place you used to train over in Dan Henderson? It was
Team Quest.
It was Team Quest Portland, and then you guys had a mass exodus and became American Top Team Portland.
Yeah, so there was another stop between that though. We were Gracie Baja, and it was mainly just a jiu-jitsu school. You know, we were under that affiliation, and then we moved on to American Top Team here in like the last 6 months or whatever.
Now, is it the same coaches though?
Yeah, all the same coaches. You know, it's all been the same. It was.
What are y'all doing? Tax fraud?
It all came down to Gracie Baja. Like, you know, they were the affiliate, so they got to determine like what the match schedule was, all that shit. We wanted to be known more of an MMA school and not a jiu-jitsu school.
Mayhem, is that normal?
Bro, yeah, no, it sounds about right.
Really?
But hey, is it affiliated with American Top Team over there in Florida?
Yeah. They actually, all of our coaches just spent all last week down in Florida, so they're all back out this week. So just spent the week picking everyone's brains, and our head coach Fabiano is good friends with Dan Lambert and all that. So
now, are you the best guy at the gym though? Are you the best guy at the gym?
You know, I mean,
humble asshole. Just say yes.
Hey, we got Ed Herman. We got some good guys, man.
Okay, so you got some veterans in there. I get it.
Yeah, which is cool for me. You know, I get to learn from, like, dude, I start off and I'm training with Chael, Ed Herman, Mike Pierce, Rick Story, and these. So I'm getting to learn a lot from those guys to start my career off and all that. And we're bringing guys in too. We get guys coming in all the time, and it's a cool situation.
Because you don't want to be the best guy at the gym, right? You want to be like the
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Well, listen.
You can't be the hammer all the time. You got to be the nail every once in a while.
Right. Well, listen, speaking of nailing, so Paige VanZant, no, I'm kidding. Listen, no, I'm super happy for you, man. You're a great guy. You're such a nice guy. And a lot of times before I tweet these fucked up things, like I said,
I know.
Bellator canceled the event, so they're gonna instead refund everyone by smelling his finger. And like, but
I love how you memorize all these too. This is so
He's
good.
a fucking comedian, bro. I mean, he's not like Theo Vaughn, but he's still a comedian.
Yeah, I'm no Theo Vaughn, but I will text him the joke before I tweet it. I'm like, hey, is this okay?
Bro, I get to like, just if everyone wants to know, like the bar that Adam sets is if he texts me a really offensive joke and I say it's okay. So Mayhem is his censor, just so everyone knows.
Which is great.
That's the standard.
Which is great, man. Well, listen, I'm super happy for you, man. Big fan. Keep up the great work, Austin.
Hey, you guys too. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You're fun to listen to, and Mayhem, cool to get to talk to you.
Fuck yeah, bro. We'll be watching your career, bro. We'll be watching your career with a microscope, man. We can't wait to see your next fight.
Hell yeah, right on.
Take care, Austin.
All right, guys. Later.
Peace. Awesome.
Bro, that's a likable asshole. No wonder Paige fucked him. Right?
Why is he an asshole?
You know, I mean, he's a fighter.
He's a good
gotta
dude.
be a little bit of asshole. We gotta hurt somebody.
He's a good dude.
But yeah, he seems like a real likable guy. I wish him success, you know, and he's got a cool fighting style. His career, you know, it should be rocket ship. You know, Bellator needs to jump on that, really. But maybe, like, you know, he's in a weird spot because his old lady is a big star over there.
But she might be going to Bellator. I feel like.
Really?
Well, they gave her a fight.
What was that last fight?
I think she has one last fight in her contract.
Oh, wow.
And she was supposed to fight in Brazil against like a girl that I've never heard of, and she just backed out of it. I think she got injured or something, and I think they're mad about it. So I don't know, but
but they're not gonna cut her.
But she's making more money on Instagram right now, and
oh, really?
She's making more money she's like got millions of followers. Yeah, she's getting more money on Instagram than she was fighting. So she was on Dancing with the Stars. I feel like they're not. It's just kind of weird. I don't know. It's interesting because it's like they don't. I think she'd be a big star over in Bellator. And they might market her better than the UFC. I feel like the UFC was really in on her first, and then when she lost to the Karate Hottie, they kind of like got a little bit, you know. But
the Karate Hottie's nothing to sneeze at. She's awesome. Like,
no, totally. No, and she's beaten a lot. She's beaten a lot of girls, but I think she lost to Jessie Jess. But she beat. She came out like a fucking guns a-blazing. Beat Felice Herrig. Beat a lot of really good girls. And
the women's division is like that, though, right? Because, like, you know what I mean? There's a big, like, in the men's division, it's similar, where, okay, what happens is that you get I won't say one-dimensional, but somebody who's, like, very strong at a certain set of techniques, and then they can roll through a certain subset of the competition. But then when they meet somebody who has a style matchup that isn't complementary, suddenly they just look like nobody.
Yeah.
You know, and like the collective fans go, oh, they were never that good. But the reality was, like, Ronda, like, so good at a certain bunch of stuff that when she runs into something that's not that, all of a sudden.
Well, I think it's even worse in some ways with the UFC because they seem to they got a guy like Sean O'Malley. I don't know if you know this guy. This guy looks like Screech, like from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, I love this
but with
kid,
tattoos everywhere.
Yeah.
But he's so good at on the stand up that they were almost not putting him up against wrestlers. Sage Northcutt is a fucking perfect example of
but that's the UFC's game plan usually. It's always been more centric, and that's why this guy didn't get signed. I guarantee you, because he's more grappler centric.
Yeah.
So anytime you have more stand up centric, that's what they want. In their opinion, that's what sells tickets. You know.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? I can't really argue with it, but
because it's
but there's never been, we can't really see. Because even Bellator kind of does that.
That's why I like the PFL, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're fighting whoever. I mean, imagine the NBA only put the NBA didn't like the Spurs because they're defense oriented, so they could never win the championship. Mm-hmm. But the Lakers who score 180 points a game get to be in the champ every week. No, you have to the best fighter put them in, whether it's Mike Pierce or.
I know, but they have so many fights to fill. You know what I mean, and so many cards.
But I don't think that they should go. Okay, this guy's marketable. He's a great striker. Let's not put him up against wrestlers for a while, because it just seems like you're kind of. I know my emotions.
Yeah, but oh man,
it's entertainment. I get it, but I'm for less of entertainment, more of sport. And
yeah, well, that doesn't work.
well, look at you. I mean, your fights were entertaining, but the entertaining also was your fucking coming out to the cage.
Yeah.
Your bully beatdown. Yeah. But you weren't like Anderson Silva in there. No offense. I mean, you were great.
Fine, yeah.
But Chael Sonnen was entertaining all out of it. In there, he would have been the average Joe grappler. I mean, he was a great fighter, but he wasn't like
World beater.
Rampage Jackson.
I know, I get it. Yeah.
No, not a world beater. He wasn't knocking people out in dynamic fashion, is what I'm trying to say. So let the entertainment factor go out of the octagon. In the octagon, just have the best fighter win.
But then you're just going to have the most boring fights all the time, and there's never going to be, you know what I mean? There's
but boring to who? I mean, GSP wasn't a most exciting fighter, but people liked him. I mean, his fights are pretty boring if you come down to it. I mean, to a lot of people, not to me, because I love wrestling, but to a lot of people, like, I want to, But then you get, not everyone could be MVP. I just want to see the best fighter. I don't give a fuck how they do it. I mean, to me, some people hate the way.
Look, eventually you get to that, right? In the championship fights, you get to that. But in the meantime, they got to fill up the cards with something that people are not, like the casual fan. You forget it. Like, not everyone is as hardcore as you.
Yeah, but
like there's a lot of casuals that don't give a shit.
But then you get guys like Colby Covington who realize I'm never going to get a push if I don't become the most absurd, right wing fucking guy.
And what's wrong with that? We talk about him all the time. We love that guy.
It's funny because it's Colby and yada yada, but then you're forcing people sometimes to become things that they aren't, and then it just I don't know.
No one put a gun in his head.
No, but
be a Trump supporter.
I understand what you're saying. I just like the guy who's the best fighter to rise to the top.
I don't think you do. I don't think you know what you want. I don't think you know what you like.
Sound like my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what are we talking about? Fucking
Bellator.
Well, first, Chiesa. A guy like Michael Chiesa. I'm happy for him. He's not the most. I mean, he's a solid fighter. He called out Colby Covington. I don't see the upside for Colby here because Chiesa's a grinder. If Colby wins. First of all, it's weird that a guy calls it a guy who lost, too.
I know, yeah.
That's also a little strange.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this is the climate we're in. That, again, like you just said, Colby brought in that entertainment factor, and now everybody knows his name, loves this guy, or hates this guy, but wants to see him fight. This guy calls him out because he knows that's a money fight. You know what I mean? That will make him the most money in the division, and he doesn't got to fight Usman, who's a beast.
It's also a good fight.
Yeah.
I don't know who do you think wins that fight, Chiesa or Colby?
I don't know. Colby coming off an injury is going to be like a while till he gets back to top form. You know what I mean? And a fight like that, it takes a lot out of you. So it's going to be a while. It's interesting. I don't even know when Colby's going to fight. I don't know why we're even talking about that. Because he
called him out.
I know. That's interesting.
Sarah McMahon, happy for her. She got that win. For me, that win against Lita Landsberg was not a very exciting. But that was like the equivalent of like a slump buster.
Yeah.
Which is basically when you're in a drought and you have sex with a girl, not an ugly chick, but a chick that you wouldn't.
A slam pick.
You gotta bust that nut.
You gotta bust
I didn't watch that fight. What happened?
She just held her down for 3 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
That's exactly what happened. But that you needed that win.
Right.
I'm all about getting that win. Get out of that lose because she lost like 2 in a row.
Let's review. He likes boring fights with, you know what I mean, just getting a win.
Look, I was
he
a
wants
wrestler.
to see the best fighters, but he doesn't mind women hugging for 3 rounds.
I don't mind.
All right.
I like Ryan Hall the way he fights because you can't figure that dude out. I like when people bring something different, but I also like. I don't mind watching fucking guys just hold each other down for 3 minutes. If you win the fight, I don't mind it. I know fuck you guys. That's what I like to watch, okay? I like to see the best guy win. I don't care how the fuck he wins. Win the fight. That's all I want to see. All right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I agree.
Let's talk about Bellator. So AJ Agazarm, you watch that guy?
Yeah.
He showed me a lot. Because he's a guy that's like basically Nick Diaz's best friend. He was a wrestler.
I didn't realize that.
He wrestled for Ohio State, but I don't think he started. I wrestled a couple matches. He's a really good grappler. He beat Phil Baroni, but he also I think won he placed in Abu Dhabi. He won some kind of champion. I don't know the BJJ thing, but he's whatever. He looked terrible in the first round. Maybe we could watch some of it. He looked almost like he didn't belong there in the first round, but then. And then he got whooped in the second, and he was running away to the point where he was running away in the second, came back and took the guy and won. Watch some of this man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy that basically, and he talks a lot of shit, this guy, but I've hung out with him, real sweet guy. You would not.
Really?
Why do you always call fighters sweet? Like
Nice
you're always
person.
like,
All right.
you're always
all right. So
being a
this is the first round.
This is round 2.
This is round 2. This is round 2. This is where he gets hurt, right? So tell me if you think, obviously, in hindsight, he like did the right. So hands are down, like the Diaz brothers, right?
Yeah. That's their casual style. Are we gonna get kicked off YouTube?
No, because this is Bellator. They don't
care.
They don't seem to know we're doing this.
Wow. Yeah. Look, I'm tired of this, like, copyright claim.
Yeah, but so how hurt is he right here?
Nah, I mean, he looked like he was trying to pull guard. To be honest, that didn't look like he was. He got tagged for sure, but it wasn't like I don't know. You have to ask him. He is getting slobber knocked right now.
So I mean, isn't he?
Man, this is about damn as sloppy as you can get.
At that point, I mean,
I saw my uncles do the same exact move.
Maybe he's not used to being punched in the face because he has that solid jiu-jitsu background. So maybe he's not used to this.
Yeah, he's really. You can tell he's like kind of got tunnel vision, like I was talking about, trying to get a grappling.
But is he is he doing the right thing here?
Well, yeah, I mean, not the getting his ass whooped part, but he was making the best out of a bad situation. Got armbarred,
but
yeah, he really was not on top of his game in this second round. I'll tell you what, but it looks like his strategy is to wear this guy out by getting his ass kicked by him. And
you think that was his actual strategy?
Listen, that strategy works. I've used it multiple times. Like, if you could just get your ass whooped for like a round or two, and then like the guy is tired and you're not.
So what is he doing here? Because
this is like a Kimura transition. Like he uses the Kimura. See how he's got 3 different paths. He could do an arm bar, he can do a Kimura, or he can get on his back here. So this is like this is a good strategy, and he can even sweep him over. This is like a strange position in grappling when you get your arms locked into a Kimura like this, where now, even though you look like an idiot with your ass in the air, like you have a lot of different ways to go from here. Like he could jump onto his back from here. He could straighten out his arm for arm bar. He can get that arm popped out to the back for a Kimura. So it's a goofy looking position, but man, it's very dangerous for this guy.
And his head's clear, you think?
Yeah, what do you mean? I think he probably is shaking it off right now. But see this? He can even transition to a triangle.
No, I've never been in this position where you've been rock like this. And now, at this point, you're 100%. You know exactly what's going on.
No. Look, man, you ain't going to be 100% for like 6 weeks. But but you know what I mean? It'll take some time for your brain to heal up from that. But the reality is your adrenaline's kicked in. And then you can shake off a nice, you know what I mean? Even getting dinked like that. You can shake it off, and look what he's doing.
And this other guy's thinking, what the hell just happened?
Well, yeah, I mean, the other guy put a bunch of, hit points into all that punching. There was a crazy scramble at the beginning of this round, and look, now he's just, he's recovered fully, and now he's on his back just giving him the business. Yeah, it's one of those things in a fight.
So I think he submits him in the 3rd round.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah, the next round he submits him.
Yeah, I didn't see this. I thought I saw this.
It was on the undercard. Okay. Bellator does the worst job letting you know. You have to go to Bellator.com on their app.
I don't know what the fuck, man.
Then you have to go to DAZN.
I'm interested in politics, right? But guess what? The algorithm only shows me MMA. I'm not allowed to like politics. I'm not allowed to like anything that Google doesn't tell me to like. I'm not allowed to like anything that YouTube doesn't tell me to like. This is 3rd round.
The guy takes a bad shot, which is not where you want to be against this guy, and then he ends up tapping him right here. Yeah. See, this is about, like I said, the strategy of getting your ass whooped sometimes works because of course. Who did it work with you against? Who name someone? Lawler for sure. Tim Kennedy on the first one, and then who else? I don't know. Fucking everybody. I took so many beatings in my career and just survived, and then would come back and win. I did it a few times. All right, the next fight, the Aaron Pico fight. So this guy Aaron Pico. Did you just give him a noogie? Is that another noogie in MMA? Yeah, pretty much. Nice. So this guy Aaron Pico, they were hyping him as the next big thing. He ends up losing a bunch of fights, winning. He's almost like he's a great boxer, great wrestler, but can't seem to put it together. Now he's with Greg Jackson, and this is the best he's looked. Now he hit him. If we go to the knockout, if this was he hit him in the side of the neck and knocked the guy out. Yeah, that happens. Yeah. I see that happen with Masvidal when he hit Ben Askren, sort of like that.
I mean,
time.
you never look back in the day. We would be trying to karate chop you. I'm surprised nobody.
Right here. So watch. So look here. So you
Yep.
see it like right.
touched his jaw though, right?
No, they have it in slow motion.
Well, look, what I've seen this in traditional martial arts where a guy uses a technique like
yeah.
kind of a karate chop to the neck, and I guess the theory behind it is because your carotid artery gets shut off right there, your brain like shuts off to you know what I mean, because there's no blood going to it, so your brain like turns off for a second to like save you. I don't know exactly.
Have you ever hit somebody in the neck like that?
Yeah.
And
In a
shut them
street
off?
fight. Yeah.
That's for when?
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't know. Oh, 7 years ago.
All right. So then, all right, Raymond Daniels. See this guy? So this is like a guy who's like huge in the Muay Thai world, like world champion, I guess. I don't know much about Muay Thai as far as like I don't watch it as much as I should. I'm doing it now, so I'm respecting it a lot more than I used to because I'm like, wow.
Raymond Daniels was look, back in the day, like I remember his kickboxing fights were epic.
So how would you fight a guy like this, Mayhem? Because I'm watching his fights, and obviously, like you're gonna say, okay, well, go for a double leg, go for close the distance, yada yada. But the things
sweep single, low single, baby.
The things he's doing in this fight, I'm just like look at how quick this guy is.
Yeah. This sideways stance like this, is very difficult to overcome for a lot of guys. If you don't have like the tools, and obviously this guy didn't. Jason King just couldn't figure it out. But I mean, it's very difficult because of how he's stood sideways and these like karate type punches. Yeah, it's really difficult to find a.
So there he's okay, right? So he wants to close it, and then what? And then just grind him up like Randy Couture style.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, use some Greco-Roman techniques, right? Underhook, some dirty boxing, and get your hips close. Right here, this strategy is terrible because. No, his hips are away from his hips. The weird thing you got to do when you're on the cage like this is dig your hips into his hips, and it's counterintuitive because you don't want to touch tips, but at the same time, like that's the best thing to work. Like that's the way to keep him on the fence. If you keep your hips away from his hips, you give a lot of play for the guy to move out to left side or right.
So you want to have your forehead under his chin?
Yeah, and you want to squeeze your. Is that a swastika in the cage? Seats?
No, I don't think.
Oh, my bad.
All right, so he hits him low. That's like one strategy.
Yeah.
All right. Fast forward a little bit more. So here, I mean, I want to see him versus that MVP. Obviously, he's not there yet.
It would be interesting to see these two guys like kung fuing around.
And then he lets him up.
That's a good fight IQ right there.
And then what? But so the guy.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting to see like this karate style, like you know what I mean, in the cage. Like we haven't seen.
Now he bows to him.
Yeah, I mean he's like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is a damn bloodbath.
And the guy's wife won the fight before. The guy King's wife.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, she. So it seems like. All right, so he lets him up.
Wow, this is a bizarre thing. This is just
weird.
Classic Bellator.
Why?
It's just bizarre. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like King just didn't have like an answer for it.
He goes here for a knee bar.
Well, okay. Well, there you go. That's better than nothing. But I mean, right now he's getting slobbered.
Is he close to finishing that knee bar here?
Nah. I mean, at this stage, this isn't a knee bar. This is like kind of a heel hook.
A heel hook?
Yeah, type. Like, I don't know. There's nothing there yet. And instead, really, there's a terrible strategy. Like the King, why the hell would you punch like that when you got this guy's legs separated? That this is probably not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, the fight's over.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see. This guy is older, Raymond Daniels, so it'll be interesting to see how many fights he got left in him and who he.
So you're fighting Raymond Daniels. Later. What do you do?
Oh, I mean, not that.
But what would you? You're coaching a guy to fight Raymond Daniels.
Yeah. Well, look. All right. Tight defense, right? You're going to take some shots for sure. But, this pushing to the fence, we've already seen right there in that fight that this guy is susceptible to getting pushed to the fence, right? But once you're there, you got to make it count. Got to get him down, first of all, because, I mean, from the little grappling I saw in that fight, didn't look like he was really new. You know what I mean? Didn't transition from anything. He was in a leg a leg lock, and the only reason he didn't get leg locked was because the guy started punching from the bottom, which is not a good strategy. You know, if you want to grapple, you know? So the strategy would be to push this guy against the fence, take him down, and then work on him. Once he's worn out, it's going to be harder for him to jump around like that. There's no way that, like, that he can do that for 3 rounds if you're grinding on him. Now, of course, you're going to take some shots, so defense will be key to prepare for. You have to hands up high style, take shots, but every time that he's taking a shot, you're moving forward, you know? Counterpunch with these, because this jumping around style, I've trained with guys with this type of karate background, and really you just fight them around the edges. You got to keep them on the fence. And if you let them go, okay, I mean, if they get away, okay, cool. Reset, hands up again, pump your jab out there. You know, front kick too works because, yeah, his kicks are better than most anybody, but with hands high and a front kick, now you're forcing him to start to either fight at range or you close the distance. Wow. Yeah, so grappling would be the key to beat that guy.
So let's talk a little bit about Joe Rogan and Stephen A. Smith. So
Stephen A. Smith. Look, man, I feel like we're just slapping people at the old folks' retirement.
But now
home.
Stephen A. Smith basically made a thing about Joe Rogan. So
wait, let's listen. I didn't hear this. I heard about it, but
all right. So he said in the beginning, the Cowboys showed me nothing. I could have done better. Basically, I've had better fights in the last week, and I'm not a fighter. And, you know, saying we learned nothing about Conor McGregor. Then on Rogan's podcast, Rogan says, Stephen A. Smith, look, this is different than other sports where you could just kind of be like the loud guy. And, you know, this is not football and basketball. Yeah. It's MMA. People are, you know, you can't discredit what, you know, Cowboys, the guy had a broken nose and his eye was fucked up. And
wait, let me hear what this guy says. I don't
Respect to
understand.
Joe Rogan. Nothing but respect for the man and the tremendous work that he has done and will continue to do throughout the years and for years to come. But you're wrong on this one, my man. Me, Stephen A. Smith.
Is he taking a dump right now?
At the Conor McGregor fight against Cowboy Cerrone, saying what I said, that he didn't show us much in 40 seconds. That warrants, it's not good for the sport. It's not good for me. It's not good for ESPN. First of all, as it pertains to ESPN, check the numbers.
Yeah, but that was
the
not because of
subscribers
you.
to ESPN Plus, the level of attention that it got, the traffic that it generated in digital and beyond. Check the numbers, number one.
Not because of Stephen A. Smith.
That's not just because of me. That's because of you. Because of Ario. Because of Chael. Because of Michael Bisping. And everybody else associated with it. Check the numbers, and number one.
Cowboy
not
Cerrone.
Good for the sport. I think that's good for the sport. I certainly don't claim to be the aficionado you are or anybody else covering this sport, but excuse me, I have been a reporter for 25 years. I have covered sports on a variety of competitive levels, regardless of what the sport is. That includes boxing and the UFC.
Which is not a sport, UFC.
And I don't give a
MMA.
damn if I did it. It don't take much to look at 3 shoulder shots to the nose that Conor McGregor gave Cowboy Cerrone, watching him fold inside of 20 seconds, knowing that he only got 1 strike off, and oh, by the way, that was blocked by Conor. It doesn't take much to look at the fight and say, excuse me, I didn't see enough to convince me that Conor in a rematch against Nurmagomedov, that wouldn't cut it. Or in a fight against Masvidal, that wouldn't cut it. Because that's what you judge greatness by. It's not just the fight that they're in, it's who they're about to go against. What are we talking about here? We're talking about Conor McGregor against one of those 2 guys potentially next. So you look at him and you say, excuse me, did I see enough? After such a long layoff, losing to Nurmagomedov, and before that an exhibition boxing match against Floyd Money Mayweather. Did you see enough? Hell no, we didn't see enough. Nothing wrong with that. I stated that night.
All right, enough of this.
I stated again.
This is the worst slam poetry I ever heard. Like, what the fuck? None of that even rhymed. Yeah. Wow. That was fucking garbage. That dude is dumb as an onion.
No, he's not dumb. He's not dumb. I mean,
no, what I mean is, like, I don't even know what he was angry about.
He's angry that Rogan. Yeah, he didn't
respond to anything.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah. And what? And are we gonna get kicked off because fucking we're
we can play some of Rogan.
We can quote Rogan. Go ahead, quote Rogan.
I looked at your Instagram yesterday, and you had that video of Stephen A. Smith.
Now look at Stephen sparring. They have him sparring, doing hitting the mitts, right?
I know. Goodness, this explains so much. Play this. Play this, Jamie. Watch this. First of all,
Are
someone
they like
needs
in
to
a
explain to me
warehouse?
what's happening here.
It looks like
punching
a
a
Bro.
dick to the left.
He's punching the testicles.
It's like if Dotson and Stephen Struve attacked you.
Yeah.
No idea, man.
This guy should not be allowed to talk about fighting.
Yeah, look,
Just
I'm going to cut
What?
him a little bit of slack. Only, I seriously, we
Bruh.
had this. Here's the thing with Strikeforce, we had kind of a similar situation, not like this though, by the way, with Gus Johnson.
I remember.
Gus
All right.
was trying to talk to
Yeah.
him, and
Well, I can't hear this guy. So, what the fuck? Like, okay, so everybody's mad at Steven Smith because he said that
First of
Conor
all,
McGregor's not the.
get mad
First
at-
of all, the ESPN app, like, look, the Conor McGregor fight, I don't know. They just butt fucked you to make you buy the ESPN.
First of all, get mad at ESPN for putting him in charge. It's not Stephen Smith's doing the best job he can.
Wait, time out.
It's
He's
not-
in charge?
No, I'm saying
Oh.
whoever
love
hired
Gus,
Stephen A. Smith is the guy to get mad at. Okay, if you want to get mad at someone, he's just doing the job that he's known for, and he's a shit talker. That's what he does. He provokes people. There are Rogan's
who
right.
is he?
There
He
are
does the-
he's just basketball and football. He's
No,
a
I know,
personality.
yeah.
There are much better people that they can get. And he's wrong. People are not tuning into ESPN to
I
watch
know.
Stephen A. Smith.
That was weird
They're
when
tuning
he
in-
rattled off the broadcast.
Tuning
team.
in to watch
Like,
Conor McGregor fight. And it doesn't matter if it was Dominic Cruz commenting or if it was Mike Goldberg commenting or if it was whoever was commenting, you wanted to watch McGregor versus Cerrone. You didn't.
I know.
Stephen A. Smith was just there.
That was a weird. Yeah.
No one's tuning in. Now, if it was the Stephen A. Smith MMA show, you could say, oh, I'm tuning in to watch that. But yeah, so at the same time, I understand what Rogan's saying. And I kind of understand. And like, look,
Wait, what is Rogan saying? Because all I saw him was laughing at
Rogan
us.
was saying that like
Yeah.
there are better guys that they could hire.
Yeah.
And this is different. It's a different
But
kind
I
of
thought
story.
his job, Stephen A. Smith's job, is just like, hello, welcome to the fight night.
No, he is his
He's
person.
doing,
He-
but
at
he's
the
not
end-
a color. He's not.
No,
a
he's doing a
commentary.
recap at the end, though.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So his job is to read the fucking prompter and shut the fuck up. Yeah.
But look, it's a lot better than when they hired Snoop Dogg. That was offensive because
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, they hired him to do commentary on the Contender Series, and he was like, "Bitch, you got knocked the fuck out," or like, "Hit him, bitch," or "What you?" And that was a little bit like disrespectful. I mean, that's something.
No,
if
but
it was-
this is very similar in a way. It's like somebody who doesn't know the culture jumping in. You know what I mean? If you don't realize, like, look, yeah, on the surface, right, we're a bunch of Trump-loving, tattooed assholes that watch MMA. Yeah, okay, on the surface. But you dig a little deeper and you realize, like, look, man, we're warriors. Like, it's like a warrior culture, and we have respect. You know, you don't fucking, you don't like. It's bad form to like talk shit about someone that just got knocked the fuck
course,
out because you know what? It could be you next time. You know, and you're humbled. But if you play helmet sports, you know, or
But
if you
right, yeah.
if you're, you know what I mean,
And
play
that's kinda-
ball
it's
sports,
exactly what Rogan's
it's
saying.
different because the aggression is off the ball, off the person, and the aggression is into scoring a
It's
goal.
exactly what Rogan's
Oh,
saying.
he did?
It's exactly what he's saying, and that's exact like to the T. But
Weird.
and I can think that because Rogan understands it, and so do you. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been in there, and Rogan's been involved enough. However, that being said, what Stephen A. said, I didn't really find that disrespectful. You know, it wasn't like
I don't catch the disrespectful.
wasn't-
What was the thing that everyone jumped on?
he was like,
It
man,
I thought we were
Cowboy,"
about to hear it
he's
right
like,
there.
It was
Cowboy sucks
It was
and
basically
whatever?
not sucks, but yeah, it was like, man, I've had better fights in the last week than Cowboy Cerrone. It was like stuff like that.
With who? His wife?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're like, no, you haven't.
I know, yeah.
But at the same time, that wasn't. If you listen to what Snoop Dogg was doing, you'd be like, this is way better than what Snoop Dogg was doing.
It's a whole
cringy.
world of Ari Shafirs out there.
All right,
Hey,
so
you just
speaking
wanted
of
to cause
which,
some drama.
before we go, Phoenix Jones, right? You know that guy?
Yeah.
So he's a guy that was in the WSOF.
Yeah.
That was a crime fighter. He dressed
Yeah.
up as a crime fighter.
I don't know him as a fighter. I just know him as a crime fighter.
All right, so
Yeah.
he was going around on his free time as trying to be a superhero, dressing up in costume. Anyway, so he got popped trying to sell Molly. He got arrested for selling Molly to an undercover cop on Venmo.
Listen, bro. Bruce Wayne was independently wealthy, okay? Phoenix Jones needs some way to buy a super suit.
So he got arrested. Now, he also got arrested 8 times for driving with a suspended license, which at the same time, did Batman have to pass his road test?
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
No?
I mean, it's just look, a Batmobile, go ahead and pull that motherfucker over.
So, yeah.
But at the same time, suspended license thing is like a weird. One time I was at a party and I had a suspended license. I got a suspended license. And everybody at the party, every dude there was like, yeah, I got a suspended license too. Because they'll suspend it for
Was
anything.
it in jail, this party? Or?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, by the way, I have to ask you, there's a video of you, of some Italian guy that wanted to fight you. Somebody sent me this video of, it was like, because people...
An Italian dude wants to fight me?
There was...
Well, fucking get in line, bro.
Because people send me these videos, and I never watch them usually. But this dude, actually, I was like, what is this? Okay, you have to explain this to me.
Bro, I don't know.
You're on
I
some
know
kind of weird... It was at your house in Orange County, and some guy's pacing back and forth.
Oh, no, bro. Let's not get into that.
Really?
That's a dude. Oh, he's not Italian.
Oh, well,
So you're a racist for saying that.
Oh.
But yeah, it's not Italian.
Oh.
He just has fuzzy
like a
eyebrows.
Jersey Shore kind of guy.
Exactly, yeah. No, that guy actually, at my old house, there was a dude down the street who I coached him.
Yeah.
And he went insane. Like, I don't know what he did. He got a hold of some drugs or I don't know what.
Because you're on some video where they're talking about it. These three guys are talking about it.
And this is recent.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And
This dude has... I feel bad for the guy. He was actually a pretty good student. Like, he would work hard and, you know what I mean, listen to me. But then, like, he, like, went off on some other... psychotic break. And this dude just never came back. He was like...
Did you ever fight that guy?
No.
So what happened? The guy was walking back and forth wanting to fight you, and you just went inside after that?
Nah. Dude, it's an old video where I sprayed him with the hose, I think.
You sprayed him with a hose?
Yeah, you're really going to go out on the show on like kind of a whap whap because it wasn't that big a deal. Like, the poor guy.
All right, okay, so it's not worth talking about?
It's kind of like making fun of, like, you know what I mean?
So it's
a dude who's
a
like...
retarded kid?
Yeah, exactly. Like having a, street corner preacher making fun of him. Because the guy obviously had some kind of mental illness.
Oh, okay.
And he wasn't always like that. He was always just kind of a little weird. But if it's the same guy you're talking about,
it's got to be that. It's got to be the same guy.
I think he literally was having like
because there's this thing called Dub It Out, baby. Ask Mayhem about this.
TikTok?
No. By the way, him on TikTok is. I heard you're out of control on this.
Chin music?
What?
Yeah, I heard.
Hot chin action on
Hot chin
TikTok?
action.
What is this? I hear you're like. All right, so some guy on. It's called Dub It Out. Another adult baby.
His ADD got ADD.
Ask me a question.
Another adult baby. This guy right here. Oh, yo, there's you with the hose.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was like
some guy wanted
a million years ago. He didn't want to fight me. He wanted to fight Wingo, this guy that lived with me. And then like he was like I don't know. The kid was,
all right, okay, we won't have to talk about that.
Well, too late. We already just like ate up 15 minutes with it. Yeah.
I thought there'd be a great story behind it.
No, it's kind of like a sad story.
Oh,
yeah, I know. Like where the poor guy, like I feel like a little guilty. Like maybe like what if like during sparring with them, I gave him brain damage and now he thinks the FBI is after him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. That's
Like it's like one of those.
Got
like,
some CTE.
Is that possible?
I gotta go coach wrestling.
All right, go coach wrestling.
Plus, by the
bro.
way, I stopped taking Adderall a week ago.
Do you have any leftovers?
That's why your
ADD is out of control.
ADD elemental P?
Yeah. All right, because I switched insurance people and then I had to get it prescribed again. I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going off it.
Wow.
All right, so and I feel better.
Really?
I'm sleeping.
Good for you, man.
A lot better.
I'm glad.
I'm going to go pick up my Adderall subscription today.
Really?
Yeah, or prescription.
Let me get some. All right. So, what do you have coming up?
Oh, this, that, and the other, bro. I'm putting together a new Mayhem martial arts page. So I don't know. I'm gonna have some fights pretty soon. Underground, baby. We're going underground and above ground.
That sounds very safe. What do you got coming up?
Nothing. Just follow me on TikTok at Hot Chin Action.
I gotta do that. All right, I'll follow you.
And then by the way, I will be in Naples, Florida this week.
Naples.
At the Off the Hook Comedy Club. I'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. And then I'll be in Calgary at the Comedy Cave in February, as well as one night stands in Michigan, somewhere in Michigan. You go to adamhunter.com for all my dates. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Thank you, everybody. Take care.